Hey, what's up guys? Marco here. Today we're going to be breaking down Travis Scott's My Eyes. Hope you enjoyed the video. My Eyes is the fourth track on Travis Scott's first and latest studio album, Utopia. This track was produced by Travis, Wheezy, Wondagurl, Vegyn, Buddy Ross and Justin Vernon. Basically, a whole army of producers lined up to create this track. Now, to let you in on today's plan, we're going to be breaking down, separately, the two beats of this song, and I'll assume that you know that this track has two parts, otherwise, why the fuck are you watching this video? Yeah, anyways, from now on, I want to make my videos a bit more informative, so there's that. So, let's jump right into the breakdown. So, first of all, to find our BPM, we're going to need to drag the sound onto the track, and we're gonna make a chop all the way here, cause FL Studio, or at least my version of FL Studio, doesn't have a dynamic separation for multiple BPMs. So yeah, we need to do it the old-fashioned way. Now we're gonna right click on this little arrow and we're gonna select Detect Tempo, and as you can see, it set our BPM to 19 beats per minute. Moving on, we're gonna start with the synth right here. Now, upon listening to the synth, I thought that this may be a modified sine lead. So first, naturally, I tried with the sine lead preset, and in the end it sounded okay-ish, I guess, but not quite what we're looking for, so I decided to remake it in Serum. So first things first, we're gonna open up Serum, obviously, and we're gonna head over to Oscillator A, Analog, and Basic Shapes. Here we're gonna bring the wavetable position knob up to a 7 for Oscillator A, and for Oscillator B, once again, Analog, Basic Shapes, and here we're gonna bring up the wavetable position to a 4. Now moving back to Oscillator A, we're gonna warp it up by a nice 25%, and we're also gonna warp it from B. And on Oscillator B, we're gonna turn up a bit the warp knob to speed up the wavetable and to make it sound more metallic and synthetic without actually disrupting its basic formula. So to make yourselves an idea, this is the before and the after. Now, to make the synth more accurate, we're gonna modify the first envelope, which controls the basic functions of the synth, like the attack, the duration, the decay, the sustain, and also the release. And in the first envelope, we're gonna create this really beautiful slide-like effect. So here's how it sounds without the envelope settings, and with the settings applied. Now, moving on, we're gonna enable the cutoff filter and we're gonna select low pass 18 and we're gonna enable it on oscillators A and B, on the noise oscillator, and we're also gonna enable the key track filter. And what the key track filter basically does is that it makes the cutoff filter dynamic to different notes. So, for example, the cutoff is going to be different for a low note than for a high one. And in the end, this filter really plays a big role in the synth's final result. And also, the final configuration we need out of this synth is to modulate the cutoff using the velocity filter. So this basically makes the cutoff dynamic and sensitive to each note's volume. So if I turn the velocity all the way down, it'll be a bit more quiet and muffled, and if I turn the velocity up, oh, too loud. Yeah, more like this. So it basically makes the synth louder and more open, and we're gonna need this filter for these three notes right here. And now we're gonna head back to Serum and we're gonna open the Matrix tab and we're gonna add some wobble or vibration to the synth. So we're gonna head over to Global, to Master Tune, we're gonna pitch it up by 1 semitone and we're gonna decrease the mix to approximately 35-ish%. So far it sounds like this. Next we're gonna open up the mixer tab and we're gonna add some fruity chorus and some Valharum for some reverb. And also some RC20 retro color for some low tone adjustments. And also if you want to make it even more accurate, you can add this Time Machine 15 inches noise effect. And because RC20 retro color isn't a native FL Studio VST, we're gonna need to tweak this knob right here, head over to Tools, Last Tweaked, and create automation clip specifically for the noise effect. And as you can hear in the original song, the noise fades out along the track. So that's basically all of the main synth. Next we're gonna add the drums. None of these are identical if you're asking, they're only similar. And also, to make it all, we're gonna create an automation clip for the drums. And with this we have the first beat ready, so here it is. Okay, moving on, beat number 2. Now we've opened up a brand new project, with the BPM being set at 147 beats per minute this time. And also, as you can clearly see, we have a lot more ground cover, so we're gonna speed up the process a bit. So first of all, we're gonna add a really big and wide choir to create tension for the transition into the main melody. Here I've gone with the choir 1 preset in Synology Pro with the attack set to 15 and the vibrato set to 16. Now this preset on its own isn't as big and as wide as I want it to be, so in the mixer tab we're gonna add 2 chorus VSTs, some Valhalla for some immense reverb and echo, and another 2 R-String retro colors. The first one adding some more reverb and wideness, and the second one adding more wobble, distortion, and again some more wideness. Moving on, we're gonna add a second choir, this time a more melodic one, preset this time being the X choir one with some added release and vibration. Here I've added some chorus, reverb and low tone adjustments. Following up, we're gonna add some bells, once again in Synology Pro. Like for real, Synology Pro is one of the best VSTs out there. I mean, it has hella presets and instruments, and it gives you complete control over them. I mean, it's a great VST. Anyways, here I've gone with the Bell 13 preset, and once again I've added chorus and reverb. But this time I've also added some heavy distortion and beat crushing using R-String retro color. Next off, we're gonna add an essential instrument for this song. Here I've gone with the classic piano preset, where I've added some reverb and an R-String retro color, where I did the same beat crushing technique as before, but I've also added some fruity delay, which creates the exact same sound effect heard in the original song. So, everything so far. Moving on, we're gonna add a pulsating synth for some more tension. Here I've gone with the on-air lead preset, where again I've added chorus, reverb and low tone adjustments. Moving on, we're gonna add a bass. This time I've made a deep preset in Serum using the basic wave chase, but in detail I've lowered oscillator A by 2 octaves, oscillator B by 1, and I've also widened it by 6 units. I've also turned on the sub oscillator, where I've gone with the basic sine shape, and I've also lowered it by 2 octaves. And also I've turned on mono and legato to create smooth pitch shifts. And that's basically it for the transition part. So let's move on to the drums. And for the second beat, I've got all of the identical drum presets, thanks to Sulfur's Travis Scott deconstructed drum kit. So first of all, we have a simple 2-step hi-hat pattern with additional rolls here and there. Following up, we have a really weird open hat pattern. Next off, we have a simple 3 and 7 snare pattern. And now we finally have the kicks. I'm saying kicks because there are two of them actually. The first one, which is a BWB kick, and the rack kick. We're also gonna add this Wheezy Vox, but I've added reverb and a permanent kick also. And now, finally, we're gonna move on to this really beautiful deep synth. So I've remade this synth serum using the basic shapes preset for oscillator A, widened up by 8 units and wavetail position up by 2. And for oscillator B, basic shapes again, widened up by 7. I've also added the low pass 18 filter, which is moduled by the velocity, similar to the first beat synth, and I've also created this delayed attack and release shape in the envelope. And in the effects tab, I've added distortion, chorus and reverb. So that's basically it. So without no further ado, here's the final result.